a lot of lottery winners or like, if you look at the self-made millionaires in this country, you actually won't find a lot of lottery winners or like tech founders who sold an app overnight.
Right, yeah.
You're actually going to find a shocking number of accountants and, well, school teachers.
Which completely shatters that whole, highlight reel version of wealth we're fed on social media every single day.
Exactly. So today's deep dive is pulling from a stack of recent behavioral economics research and also a highly regarded personal finance manifesto to figure out why that is.
Yeah, and our mission today isn't to just rehash that basic spend less than you earn advice you already know.
Right, no one needs to hear that again.
Exactly. We're looking at the actual psychological mechanisms of what really builds a bank account over time.
Okay, let's unpack this because the core argument across these sources is that wealth actually isn't an income level. It's a byproduct of tiny, often mundane decisions repeated daily.
And that's where the behavioral economics research gets really interesting. I mean, it's not just about the math of those decisions, it's about the cognitive friction.
Right.
We are wired to crave that lightning strike moment, like the overnight success.
Because it requires zero sustained effort.
Exactly. Zero effort.
It's basically the fitness illusion, right? I mean, you can't walk into a gym, work out for 24 hours straight, and suddenly be in top shape.
No, that would just put you in the hospital.
Right. You get fit by doing a focused 30-minute workout every single day. The physical transformation happens in the repetition.
What's fascinating here is how the manifesto frames that repetition. Like when we wait for a massive salary bump or a lucky break to save us, we're basically outsourcing our financial agency.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
But when you shift the focus to daily habits, the power dynamic flips entirely back to you. It's about controlling what's immediately in front of you.
Right, but let's talk about what those habits actually look like in practice, because the formula in the text is split into playing offense, like increasing income through new skills or multiple streams, and then playing defense, cutting
Yeah,
costs.
the defense part is crucial.
But I'll be honest, obsessing over clipping coupons feels like a really slow path. Isn't the real secret here just playing aggressive offense? Like, if you just out-earn your spending, problem solved, right?
You'd think so. I mean, it sounds logical,
Yeah.
but the research actually points in the exact opposite direction.
Wait, really?
Yeah, high earners are incredibly prone to lifestyle creep. You get a raise, you buy a nicer car, you get a bonus, you upgrade your house.
I see.
If you don't master the defense first, earning more just means you're buying a much more expensive sinking ship.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. It really doesn't matter how fast you're running if the treadmill keeps speeding up underneath you.
That is the reality of the math right there. And that treadmill, it's high-interest debt.
The worst.
It mathematically accelerates your losses. You're putting in maximum effort just to stay in the exact same place because the interest is compounding against you.
So that's why defense has to come first. You literally have to unplug the treadmill.
Exactly. Unplug it. And if we connect this to the bigger picture, a surplus allows you to buy assets that do the working for you.
Which frees up your cash flow to actually play offense, right? The text heavily emphasizes building new skills to generate that surplus.
Right, and when you invest that surplus, your money earns a return.
Hmm.
But the actual wealth-building mechanism kicks in during year 2, year 3, year 10, when those returns start generating their own returns.
It's an avalanche effect.
Exactly. Eventually, the autonomous growth of your money vastly out-earns your original contributions.
So what does this all mean? The ultimate takeaway from our sources today really flips the script on the end goal. Wealth isn't about the sports car in the driveway or like the designer watch.
No, not at all.
It's not about visually broadcasting your net worth.
Because the people who actually build lasting wealth, those teachers and accountants we mentioned at the top of the show, they are aiming for something invisible.
Right.
They are buying financial security, options, and fundamentally, the freedom to control their own time.
It really is about having the autonomy to spend your day exactly how you want to. And that journey doesn't require a seven-figure salary. It starts with optimizing just one financial financial decision today?
Yeah, just one.
Which leaves you with a really provocative question to ponder as you go about your week.
If the real mathematical purpose of wealth is freedom and security, rather than just looking rich, how much of your current daily spending is actually just a performance for an audience?
Exactly. Are you buying things just to show the world you have money? Because if we go back to that gym analogy, you want to be flexing your financial muscles to actually build a healthier future for yourself.
Right, not just to look good in the mirrors for people who aren't paying your bills.